Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a play of the introductory non-spoiler scenario for Jurassic World, The Legacy of Isla Nublar. And no disclaimer for this one, I bought a copy for my now 10-year-old for his birthday, and yeah, just wanted to try it out since he's a big Jurassic Park fan. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Isla Nublar is a cooperative legacy game, which is not my favorite usually. I don't like legacy games a lot. And also for this one, I'm sure like a lot of you, I had heard initially the negative points that the Dice Tower brought up, so I didn't really have any interest in playing it. But then a bunch of people on our Discord were saying that it was really great and that the reviews were overly harsh on the game. So I thought it was worth a try. And yeah, so far my initial plays of it have been fun. I have not done anything legacy-ish yet. As you can see, there's no stickers or anything on the board. But yeah, well, one person's review should not define a game. And so far this one seems pretty cool. So I'm just going to play again through this tutorial scenario. It is very basic. It does not have anything legacy yet, so no spoilers whatsoever. And then if my son is into the game enough to play through the whole campaign, I might do a review of the whole thing when I'm finished. But each of the scenarios has a little story/rule book for it. That's kind of like a little comic presentation. So here we've got, come aboard Hammond's Dream. Attention, please prepare for arrival at Isla Nublar. And the basic idea of this tutorial is that it is supposed to be John Hammond, the creator of Jurassic Park, dreaming about what he wants to do with the park, and that's why nothing matters and no legacy things happen, because it's all just a dream. So here we go. Let's go through this. A million planning decisions fill John Hammond's mind as he dozes aboard the airplane. He and his park planner, Alejandra Solano, are en route to Isla Nublar. They'll meet up with the site crews who have been on the ground surveying for the best locations to build the park's first facilities. And they're showing me what to unlock, what to use. They add some stuff to the rulebook. The questions of architects, landscapers, engineers, contractors, and scientists tug in all directions. In his slumber, these stresses play out as strange dream visions of the choices Hammond must make. And they end with the objectives, what we have to actually do, although we also have to survive until the end of round 5. So we need to reveal all 4 survey tokens. I'll get into those in a second. We need to place the visitor center and the genetics lab, which will come from the survey tokens and from the event round cards. We need to make a row or column of purple crates in the visitor center to unload the shipments. We need to get the dinosaur gene sequencing going by getting 2 columns in the genetics lab. That's a GATC. Maybe Gattaca. That'll make me think of it. That's a good movie, Gattaca. And we got to do all of that before round 5 and not lose. And how losing works is from consequences. By the way, the board is incredibly tall and very hard to fit on my table, so I've turned it sideways. So sorry that some of the language here is going to be 90 degrees off. But yeah, so many things in the game will cause you to take consequences, which means you flip one of these tokens over. One of them is a 0, one of them is a 2, the rest are 1s. And if I've flipped over enough to add up to 5 or more, then I lose. And what's going to flip them over? Well, first of all, you start off with some herbivores and carnivores in the game. So I've got the Brachiosaurus, Triceratops, T-Rex, and Velociraptors. And if any of them take so much damage that it reaches or exceeds their vitality, I'm going to flip their board over, or their little card, and it'll tell me how many consequence tokens I have to reveal. Similarly, for my characters, they can take up to 2 injuries from dinosaur encounters, but if they take any more than that, I don't die, but each additional injury will cause a consequence to get flipped. And then finally, many of these round cards in the 5 rounds we're going to play will have ongoing negative effects that'll flip consequences unless we resolve some objective. So we're trying to minimize consequences by protecting the dinosaurs, even though they might be eating us, by protecting ourselves, and by resolving our objectives and these little missions that come up from the round cards. And you have to control at least 2 characters, so I'm controlling Alejandra Solano, who's the only character you start with that I don't think was in the original movies, at least I don't remember her. But she has 1 special ability, although you'll see there are certainly more to come that look like they'll get scratched off. And then she even has this legacy side that they haven't told us how to use yet, so all I know right now is this. But yeah, so each character has 1 power at this point. Hers is when taking a run action to enter a building, you may enter any room of that building, so she can kind of move into the buildings better because there are these separate boards once we get the visitor center and genetics lab that'll take us into other buildings. And also each character has a defense icon here because when the dinosaurs attack, they're going to roll these dice that have 2 misses, 2 Velociraptor claws, 1 slash, and 1 pow. And this is a free block she gets when attacked. So hers is only going to work 1/6 of the time on a given die because there's only 1 pow there. Then the other character I picked who definitely was in the movie is Robert Muldoon. He was the guy that said clever girl and sort of like the defense coordinator, whatever his job was. Oh, game warden. And he has Hunter. Once per round before moving into a space with a carnivore, he may draw 1 item card. So he's going to get benefits from dealing with the Velociraptor and the T-Rex. And in the game, regardless of player count, you always have 9 actions to take per round. So in the case of 2 characters, they're each going to have 4 actions, but you can interlace them, and like one person could take 2 actions, and the next one could take 1, and vice versa. But then the 9th action is a shared action. We pick each round who's going to use it. Whereas with 3 players, you would each get 3 actions. All right, but let's get into the game. It's a pretty straightforward system, and I'll explain things as we go. So the first step of each round, again, sorry it's turned, is to reveal the first round card. Now, sometimes the scenario is going to define, so 1, 2, 3, and 5 are defined in this one, but sometimes it'll be random dinosaur danger cards like we have for round 4. Survey the island. We'll decide the best places to build after meeting with the survey crews. Okay, when you search, also reveal and take any survey token in your zone. Discard this when the field camp and mobile lab survey tokens have been revealed. So this is giving us an ongoing action we can use for the entire scenario. When we search, which is like a basic action you can always take, then we also get to take a survey token in our space. And if we can get 2 of the 4, there's 1 on each dinosaur starting spot, then we can get rid of this. Otherwise, we're going to have a consequence flip at the end of each round. Okay, next we get to scout sectors. So we've got these 6 sectors here, 1 through 6, each color-coded as well. And they correspond, as you can see, to different areas of the board. So here's Sector 1, here's Sector 2, here's Sector 3. And before the dinosaurs activate, we're going to flip all of these over, and they're going to tell us how the dinosaurs activate and like whether they attack, where they move, that kind of stuff. But this step, the scout sectors thing, allows you to automatically flip and see, not resolve, just see what it is, each of the sectors that has at least 1 character in it. So right now we're all in Sector 1 at the helipad to start out. So we get this card. What's on here? First of all, it tells us how many items you get if you take a search action in this sector. You're drawing from this item deck. They're all helpful. It also has a weather forecast, which is not used in the tutorial, but I'm assuming it'll matter eventually. And then it has herbivore and carnivore behavior. So if it's a direction, they're going to try to move in that direction. And for carnivores, if it's a hunt icon, this little T-Rex mouth, they're going to try to attack someone in their space or adjacent, or they're going to just teleport basically and surprisingly show up, like in the movies, with an ambush. But that's only for dinosaurs that are in Sector 1, of which there are none right now, so not that big a deal. All right, now we got to take our actions. So let's go over our action option. You can run, which moves you up to 2 spaces. The risky run thing is just a clarification when you might get attacked if you move in with a carnivore. You can lead if there's a follower. There aren't any yet. You can herd if you have 2 characters on 1 dinosaur's space, which both cancels their first action for each turn. So it'll like usually stop carnivores from hunting, but also lets you move them where you want them. You can search, which reveals your sector card, gets you item cards, and in this scenario, you get the surveys. You can heal yourself if you're indoors, and you can trade with other characters if you both have items. And clearly, Legacy game, there's more to come. Well, the big thing for right now is clearly going to be to run to the survey tokens, and then to flip them over with the search action. So moving is all orthogonal. You cannot move through mountains, of which currently there are 2 here and here. So I think what makes sense is Muldoon can go here, search, go here and deal with T-Rex, but he's a little bit better equipped to do that with his hunter ability, and search again. So let's try that. So his first action, boop, you just flip these action tokens over to show you've taken one. And then his second action, by the way, the herbivores don't mess with you at all, unless the card says they do. All right, so we're flipping the Sector 5 card, which is going to get him an item. That was nice. We also see that the T-Rex is going to attack Muldoon if he stays on his space, which is not very comforting. And then he'll try to move east, which would not work because that would be off the island. But we get to draw an item card. So these are all starting items. You unlock a lot more for the deck as you go, but only 6 items start out unlocked. This one is a field knife. So all items give you a defensive usage. You can use them to prevent an attack of a specific type from a dinosaur. So in this case, this one can prevent a claw attack. But it says you may defend against any 1 additional strike. So it's kind of like a wild defense as well. But if you do, the attacking dinosaur receives an injury, which remember is not necessarily great because if you kill the carnivores, then you're actually flipping over consequences. But yeah, you can hold any number of items. There are only 6 in the deck right now, so it's pretty quick to run out and not be able to draw any. But that's it for Muldoon's second action. Oh, no, it's not. He needs to actually get the survey. So he takes the token, and it is the field camp. One of the two we need to find to get rid of the consequence generation of the round 1 card. Heck yeah. All right, and again, we could have Alejandro do some other actions, but let's go ahead and go in here. So whenever you move through or into a carnivore's space, if there's nothing else there, so if there's not another dinosaur, if there's not another character, because then they'll distract them and you won't have to deal with their attack. If none of that is true, then you are doing what's called a risky run, and you need to roll a single die, even though T-Rex's usual attack is 4 dice, to see if you get hurt. But also, remember Muldoon, when he's about to move into a carnivore space, he gets another item. I got a road flare. We've seen that. So discard when defending to stop a claw, or discard to move a dinosaur from an adjacent space into your space. I don't think I'd want to do that. All right, so here we go. Our risky run is a POW, which, sadly, none of our items will protect us from, except, I guess, the field knife. But I think I want to keep the field knife for his big attack in a second if he hunts me. So Muldoon's got 1 of 2 injuries, which means he's closer to forcing us to flip over consequences. But also he cannot take the herd action to move and negate some of the activities of dinosaurs. You have to be uninjured to do that. But so it goes for his 4th and final action, well, unless we give him the 5th bonus action, which actually I might to get him away from the T-Rex. He's going to search again. Now, we already know what the sector is, but it's 1 item. Still applies for the whole round. And we got binoculars. Free action. Once per round, reveal any 1 sector card without drawing items. Well, that's pretty dang nice. And you know what? Let's go ahead and reveal Sector 6 because I want to know what the Velociraptors are doing. So they're going to hunt. Right now, nobody is anywhere near them, so they'll just teleport around the board. I'll show you how that works. Whereas the Triceratops is going to move south and then east, bringing them right next to the T-Rex, for better or worse. But anyway, Muldoon is getting... Okay, immediately place a barrier token between any 2 zones and discard this. So barriers go between locations, and they will stop dinosaurs from trying to move past them, and they'll also just kind of thrash and destroy them instead of ambushing, so I might actually put it near the Velociraptors. And in the case of this barrier, it has 2 X's, so it can get attacked twice before it's removed. So sure, let's lock down the Velociraptors so they're not coming to hunt us right away. Well, that's all of Muldoon's basic actions. Let's have Alejandra go 1, 2, 3, 4 and search over there. Blue, Sector 6 does have 1 item. Oh, she got the herding gear. This one's really good. Free action. Once per round, herd a dinosaur without another character, because usually you need to have 2 of you there. That dinosaur receives an injury, and it's a free action, or discard to defend 2 different things. That's probably the best item we've got. But I don't want to shoot the Triceratops. He's not doing anything bad to me. All right, and we got the Mobile Lab. Nice. Since we have received both of these, this card is discarded, so we won't get an automatic consequence this turn. Although we do still, for our objective, have to go get that survey at some point. And just to note, the obstacles, the gates, the barriers, that's what they're called. Couldn't remember. They do not prevent characters from moving through, only dinosaurs. So we could get over there to the Velociraptors if we want to. All right, so that's all of Alejandra's actions, all of Muldoon's, but we've got the extra 9th action. And yeah, I think even though, the only negative of me running away from the T-Rex is that it's going to go attack the Brachiosaur. So actually, yeah, you know what? I should have done this anyway. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and put a barrier right here instead of next to Velociraptor, because there's a low chance a Velociraptor will actually do anything negative. And then Muldoon will go over to here to head towards the last survey token. All right, so that's the take actions step. Now we activate dinosaurs. So we flip over every other sector so we can see the full activation. Although here it doesn't really matter because there are only dinosaurs in sector 5 and 6, and we know about those. And then we activate sectors in ascending order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the dinosaurs in sector 5, let's get to them. Brachiosauruses are going to go north, so the herbivores move first. Then the T-Rex is going to hunt. So first they'll try to attack somebody in their space. Then they'll try to move in and attack somebody adjacent. If they can't do any of that and nobody's there for them to attack, they'll try to destroy a barrier near them. And if none of that is true, then they'll ambush, reroll a d20, and put them on the matching area because each of them has a number 1 through 20. But here he wants to eat the Brachiosaur, but he can't reach him because of the barrier, so he does the first of 2 damage to it. Then he wants to move east, which he can't, so he's done. And then Sector 6, the Triceratops is going to move south and then east, and then the Velociraptor is going to hunt, but nobody's within 1 of him, so he is ambushing. And wherever he lands, he will immediately attack if somebody's there. Yeah, it was low chances. He's over here in 11. That's nice. But he will not move adjacent after an ambush. So they need to literally like land right on a spot to get the free attack. All right, then we end the round. We get rid of all of this stuff. We deal out 6 new face down sector cards, and we're good to go. All right, so now you know the basic rules. Let's see our next round card. Field Camp. Following the surveys, we can replace the field camp with a real visitor center. Okay, action, if you're in an open zone, discard the field camp survey token to place a visitor center token in your zone and a road token connecting to an adjacent zone. So Muldoon's got the field camp, so he'd be the one that needs to do that action. And it says an open space, which in the tutorial is pretty basic. It can't be the spot with the big lake, can't be the spot with the helipad, it can't be any of the 4 dinosaur homes, but besides that, it can be anything. So it's like nothing that has a big illustration of something important in the middle of it. So one of us should probably get that last survey. Oh, but first we're both in Sector 6, so let's reveal that. Again, storm warning doesn't matter at all. There aren't currently any carnivores in there. You get 0 items for searching. That's going to be great when we get that last survey. So yeah, nothing really good there. All right, I'm going to move Muldoon first and go ahead and get the thing going. Should I be near Alejandra? Because we do need to do like the crates in there for that one objective. So even though I could like run closer to the helipad, I don't know if I need to. I think I'm actually going to put it right where I am. So for his first action, he's going to discard this field camp token and put the visitor center, boop, right in there. Then for the second action, he'll move in. Let's show you how this works. So there are these boards for each of the locations. You have to enter into the entrance, although if you have Alejandra's power, you can obviously not. And then you have to move through doors, these little white spaces. And the reason you want to do that is because each of these locations is going to give you a different way to manipulate whatever the special thing is for the visitor center in this case. So Muldoon can move up to 2 spaces, but actually looking, I want to be here for that power. So I'm going to, well, hold on. Actually, let's not move Muldoon yet. Because Muldoon doesn't have to be the one to go in there. I just realized he can go get the survey token. Alejandra will be way better at this. She's going to move in with a run action. She has 2 moves. The first one takes her to the tile with the visitor center. And for the second one, she can move into any room with her power. She's going in here where the little DNA strand gave the presentation in the first movie. So the objective said we have to have 3 purple tiles in a row or column. This is like a complete 3 game, although no diagonals. But right now we have no purples. Now we can always see the top one on the pile, which is a purple, one of the ones we need. So what we want to do is get more tiles in here. How we do that is for one action we take and unload. So Alejandra could do that for her second action. And whichever room you're in is going to tell you from which side you push in the top tile of the pile, pushing other things out. And here, I know what I'm going to do. The theater lets me push from the bottom, which is what I want to do. So I push all of these. This is for Alejandra's second action. And several things happen. This is all detailed here. The tile that's pushed off gets discarded. You won't bring that back unless you run out of things. Whenever you push, the new tile gets revealed. And then if after any push you have a row or column that is all the same color, you complete it. So in this case, we've got 3 reds. And the reds, by the way, started on the board, 3 of them in a diagonal like this because they have little starting icons, whereas all the rest of these were randomized. Yeah, so when you complete a row or column, you take them all off. If you needed them, if they were part of an objective, like the 3 purples we need, then we would just put them to the side and we would have completed the objective. But otherwise, they are discarded, which means you get to fill in left to right, top to bottom. Oh, empty. Where are the purples? There's another purple. And then we get to see what the next one's going to be. Another yellow. So I guess what would make the most sense here would be to get to the entrance and then push to the right. That would complete a column of yellows and get the purple in a spot where the other purple could be joined with it. So hey, back to Muldoon. We'll have him move in for his second action, and he'll use his third action to push the yellow as planned, like that. The green goes away, and then all 3 of the yellows go away. And we should get another purple here because we're running out. Yep, there it is. And actually, I think this, yeah, because there's 4 of each color. There we go. And since there's nothing left, we do shuffle the pool, I believe. Not that we really care. All right, so all we got to do is get a single downward push. Although I realize I'm not going to get to the survey tokens this round. That's too bad. But Alejandra can do it. She's got 2 actions left. So she'll go run over to here where the down is. And then for her last action, she will push this red downwards and discard the green, and boom, we have locked in the objective. So no point in filling this in anymore. They don't matter in this scenario. We still have the survey left. Muldoon is going to run for his last personal action. And notice that he's in a location that has exit, but there are multiple ones. So although you come into the entrance, if you're not Alejandro, you can exit through any exit. So he's got 2 movements. So 1 move will take him through the exit and out to the tile with the visitor center. And the second one will get him over here. And then he'll take the shared 9th action to move on to the survey tile. And next round, we can get that thing. But now it's time to reveal all the sectors and see what fun we have in store. So 2 is going to be the Velociraptors. And then 5 is going to be the Brachiosaur and the T-Rex. And 6 will be the Triceratops. So Velociraptor is going to hunt and then move north. They have to ambush again because clearly nobody's near them. They go to 12, which is still not dangerous. And then they go north. They are blocked by the mountains, but they are threatening these areas now. And now 5, the Brachiosaur moves back to their home. And then, the T-Rex is going to hunt. Now, just a note, even if the Brachiosaur had not moved, carnivores will prefer things that are already in their space. And then they'll prefer things that are adjacent that don't require them to go through a barrier. So they would have attacked the Triceratops no matter what. So if a T-Rex is going to hunt, we'll roll for the attack and then move south. So it's time for a dino fight. The T-Rex attacks for 4. The Triceratops has an automatic defense against 1 claw and 1 pow. They only have 2 life. And some dinosaurs have a special power. If an attack injures but does not remove them, the attacking dinosaur receives an injury. So here we go. Don't die. Oh, they're super dead. Yep. So they blocked 1 of each. There are, again, 1/3 of these faces are blank. That was a bad roll. But they take 2 more damage. Their ability does not trigger. The T-Rex is not hurt. But we do have to resolve 2 consequences. Ouch. And what have we got? Oh no, the 2. Okay. So there is only 1 2. So 2 more consequences will definitely, oh no, I guess not definitely. We might get the 0. 2 more consequences could make us lose. 3 more consequences will definitely lose, but we're safe for 1 more consequence. And now the T-Rex is kind of far away. So is Velociraptor, unless they roll the exact 1 out of 20 number for the Brachiosaur. Hopefully we won't lose. Or we could get our characters nearby to tempt them, which actually would happen right now if Alejandro was still in the visitor center, because even inside, they will come in and attack you. Although for each space inside a building they have to move to get to you from the entrance, you get 1 automatic wild block against one of their attacks, so it's hard for them to get you when you're in buildings if they are just coming in for the first time. Not that she's going to stay there, so all of this is kind of moot. All right, we can discard this round card. We already did what it says to do. Oh, I forgot to put down the road. Hold on. Roads don't actually do much in this scenario. You just put them in between 2 places like that. They don't benefit dinosaurs, and they don't benefit us yet either. I'm guessing that'll change maybe in other scenarios. The only thing they do benefit is if you are leading another character, like a companion, which haven't come out yet. Then if your first move is over a road, you get another free move. And also, if you put them over mountains, it lets the players go over the mountain, but the dinosaurs still can't. But here, this road is pretty much useless that I got from building the visitor center. All right, round theory. Connect with the architects of a new genetics lab. Okay, we got to place, oh, here we go. Place the architect at the helipad, zone 20. If you're in an open zone, discard the mobile lab survey token to place the genetics lab token in your zone and a road token connected to an adjacent zone. And we'll get consequences unless we have the architect in the entrance room of the genetics lab. Well, that sounds like an Alejandra problem, doesn't it? And we're once again only in sector 6, so we can see herbivores aren't going to move at all. But the T-Rex will be trying to hunt and then moving north. And it's another 0 item card, so Muldoon will get that survey token in a second, and it won't help at all. All right, so Alejandra, unfortunately, has a while to go, so her first run will just get her into the space where the T-Rex is going to try to bite her. And that's not her free one. So she could discard her hurting gear to not get hurt. That's a really good item, though. Now, she can always get rid of an injury inside the lab, so I'll just take the damage. All right, for a second action, she can go over here. Now, she can't build the lab here. Oh, I forgot to put the person here. Here she is, an architect. We can lead her. She only has 1 life. If she gets killed, then we take consequences, as you would imagine. All right, for Alejandra's third action, she'll go ahead and build the mobile lab. Or sorry, it's the genetics lab now. And once again, she gets a road that doesn't really matter. And yeah, I don't see any way for us to get the architect there yet. So I guess for her 4th action, Alejandra will just go and get the lady. Meanwhile, Muldoon needs to lock down this last thing. So for his first action, and yes, it's another barrier placement. And no question here. Let's distract the T-Rex for a little bit. And then I guess Muldoon will start going towards the the genetics lab. So it's 2, 3, move in 4. So we can get here or here or here. So let's look at this one. So we need to get, what was it? Gattaca. So it was GATC, right? Yep, that mnemonic actually worked pretty well. So I need to move these to get 2 GATC lines completed. And each room, just like for the visitor center, gives you one particular swap you can do. So here, I guess if I can get that diagonally there, that would take care of the GAs. Oh, and then it's a single vertical swap, which I'm already in. But I could get to the diagonals, including the one that I want to get to. So sure, so his run was 2 moves. And we have a single action left. Do I want to give it to Alejandra to start leading the architect? Or do I want to give it to Muldoon to start doing the genetics? I mean, either way, we're going to get hurt. So let's give it to Alejandra. And a lead action lets you move only a single spot. If the first move you take is in a building or across a road, you get a second move. But here, that's not the case, sadly. All right, we got carnivores, although at least one of them is only going to attack a barrier. We just hope the Velociraptor doesn't roll really well. Let's see what happens. So first, the Velociraptors are going to hunt and then move north. Although, hopefully not anywhere dangerous. 3. That's okay, right back to home. Interesting. Then they can't move north. Oh, but their special power comes in. If they cannot wander the direction indicated, they wander the opposite direction. So they go back down here. Not a big deal. Okay, then the T-Rex wants to hunt. And if there's nobody within one of him, but there is a barrier, he'll just damage it out of rage. And then he'll move north, which means he's probably going to ambush next time. Oops, I forgot the herbivore over here, which was a north and then an east move. The brachiosaurs have not really come into... Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. I forgot that they can also damage barriers, so they actually destroy this instead of moving north. Bye-bye. Okay, and then because the architect is not inside of the lab yet, we need to take a consequence. Hey, we got lucky. So we will definitely lose when we get 2 more, but we know we can take 2 more. So what would cause 2? I guess one of us getting bitten really hard, or one of the dinosaurs dying, and then is the architect 1 or 2? Okay, she's only 1, although we clearly don't want to let her die, and she should be fine in a second. All right, so now we have the randomized dinosaur danger card. Chopper blockers. Incoming helicopter needs access. Oh no, brachiosaurs. I said you weren't doing anything bad. Immediately place the brachiosaurs in zone 20. For the rest of his adventure, the brachiosaurs do not wander. Before you can herd them, you must discard 2 item cards. At the end of round 5, if they're still at the helipad, suffer a consequence. All right, so there it is blocking the helicopter. We can survive 1 consequence, remember, so that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but I do want to deal with it. And we are automatically scouting Sector 3 only. We're in the same place again. I need to stop doing that. There are no dinosaurs here. You get 0 items if you search. Not much to worry about. All right, we should be able to lock things down pretty quickly here. So let's have Muldoon start, and then Alejandra can move in with the architect and do whatever needs to be done to finish. So his room has a diagonal swap like that, so he'll spend 1 action to do that. And then Alejandra will lead the architect in. Oh, crud. It only says when taking a run action. Oh, but never mind. That's where she wants to be anyway. Yeah, because her ability only lets her enter any room when taking a run action, not a lead action with the character. But yeah, for her second action, she will switch the T and the C. Right, GATC, yep. So we have completed our objective. We completed all the objectives, actually. We've got all the survey tokens. We've done the crates. We've done the other thing. Oh, and the visitor center and the genetics lab are on the board. Yep, so we just need to survive until round 5. So I guess we might as well deal with the Brachiosaurus, right? So for Alejandra's third action, I'll have her heal her illness. And then for her fourth action, I think she'll move. She's already at an exit out to here, because I kind of got a plan. Then for Muldoon's first action, he'll run out to here. Or sorry, that's his third action, second and third, because he already took an action to do the thing. And now, hey, Road Flare. Discard and move a dinosaur from an adjacent space into your space. Boop. And we see already that they are not going to move southwards this round. But just to be sure, I could herd them away. Oh, wait, no, I couldn't because Muldoon is hurt. So here, let's say for his fourth action, I would have cured the injury before I left the building. And then now I can herd away. Oh, I totally forgot about his binoculars. But yeah, let's go ahead and discard 2, because remember the chopper blocker said I had to discard 2 before I herd them. Oh, wait, I forgot that she had the herding gear to herd for a free action. But since she didn't have 2 item cards, she couldn't have resolved the extra thing. So I think the way we did it is actually the way we have to do it. Yeah, so they are herded, so this goes under them, and that just means it's going to cancel their first activation the next time they try to activate. If they don't activate at all, like with this card, I think they just keep the herded token. And you can additionally move them adjacent. Well, let's put them over here on the mountains, so they really have like no chance of coming back. Or no, never mind. That's stupid. Let's put them here, because we already know they're not moving out of Sector 3, because we've scouted that card. All right, then we have one action left. I don't know. Let's have Muldoon, like, head over here, because I vaguely remember, I played this with my son a couple of days ago. I think there was like some other task we had to resolve in round 5. But the mobile lab is discarded, so we won't take another consequence because the architect is where she needs to be. And the chopper blockers is not technically discarded. It's still going to get checked at the end of round 5, but for the moment, we're fine. All right, and second to last, dinosaur activation. So the herbivores aren't moving. The velociraptors are going to hunt and then move east. Yeah, so we have some ambushing that could mess us up here. 11. Totally fine. And then move east. Maybe not quite so fine. They could try to attack the brachiosaur next turn. Maybe I should herd them again. And then the T-Rex is hunting and moving east. And 19. Oh, hello. Well, that's fine. The chopper blocker only says the Brachiosaurus has to not be on the helipad. I guess the T-Rex can eat the helicopter, no problem. And we took no automatic consequences, so we're getting to the final round. We automatically see 4, which is where the velociraptors are. They're going to hunt and then move south. We automatically see where Alejandra is and the Brachiosaurus. They're going to move west to get eaten by the velociraptors, at least currently. And then quitting time. The landscaper's done for the day, but the dinosaurs never clock out. Place the landscaper in the lowest numbered zone with a carnivore. Yeah, that's right. I remembered that now. All right, so lowest numbered with a carnivore. So we want to get in there and get them out. And now Alejandra could do that pretty easily with her herding gear and herd that velociraptor out of there. But she would have to move in without getting hurt, and she doesn't have any other items. So let's actually have this happen. Let's have Muldoon go in first. Because remember, if somebody else is... Oh, never mind. She's not going to have to roll for damage because the landscaper is distracting the velociraptor. So we're actually safe. So yeah, so for her first action, she'll move in here. Oh, wait, maybe... I'm thinking maybe I want to herd the T-Rex too, just to prevent the very dumb, small possibility that they like teleport to the Brachiosaurus and kill him in one round and we lose. So she moves there. I'm going to have Muldoon move in here for his first action. And he still gets to draw a free item, even though he's not getting attacked. Taser Prod. Herd a dinosaur without another character. Heck yeah. So they both have herding for free kind of things. All right, Muldoon will go ahead and use his second action to herd the Velociraptor. All right, he didn't need her, but he has her. And he'll move them. Wait, we know Sector 4 is going to be hunt him and south. So yeah, it's fine. They can just go there. All right, then Alejandra will go 1, 2. She does have to... Oh, wait, crud. What am I doing? The whole idea of this was that I didn't want to get killed. So we'll have Muldoon go 1, 2. That's his last action. He'll move in, but then he does have to roll for combat. He's got the emergency veterinary kit. Discard or remove up to 2 injuries from a dinosaur in your space. But he's getting potentially bitten with a POW, which is great. He has the Taser Prod, so he'll discard that to block. And then Alejandra can go 1, 2. She has 1 action left, but she doesn't need it because she's got her herding gear. Now, the reason I had all that happen, moving Muldoon in, is because even though she can herd by herself as a free action, she would have still had to roll and potentially gotten hurt, and she didn't have enough items to potentially survive that. And then if she was hurt, she couldn't herd. So she's going to use the herding gear now since she can move into here freely. And I know that in this sector, he's going to hunt and then move. So we'll move him in there because there is a card. I don't think I've seen it yet with a double hunt, which means like he would get rid of the first hunt with the herd token, but not the second. Oh, I forgot. Whenever you herd, you can move with them, which might have been a valuable thing to do in some of these cases. But whatever. Actually, I don't think we were herding until this turn, were we? All right, well, she's still got an action left, and we still got the free action, but you don't have to take all your actions. I think we are fine here. All right, so, oh, by the way, look at this. That was lucky. The Sector 1 card, where the T-Rex was a second ago, was the double hunt card. So that would have been bad. But we do Sector 3, so the Brachiosaurus would try to go west, but they can't because they're herded, so they just discard it. The T-Rex would try to hunt, but they can't, so they just discard it, then they go south. And note that even if they move into a sector, they don't resolve that sector's icons. It's only the sector that they started in. Okay, and then finally, the velociraptors would try to hunt, but they can't, so they will just move south to hang out with the landscaper in a peaceful way. Boom! We have survived. Although a lot closer to a death than I would expect for a tutorial. And we could have gotten some nastier cards, like the Velociraptor or the T-Rex suddenly attacking us. And I think you unlock more dinosaurs, I'm guessing, because there's lots of little kind of Gloomhaven-style boxes. Look like they will hold more more dinosaurs. There you go. That was the tutorial for the Legacy of Isla Nublar. If I can coax my now 10-year-old into playing it more, I'll have a review down the line. If you never see that, then know that he didn't want to play the game anymore. Because he's a much more reluctant game partner than my 13-year-old, sadly. But thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you thought that was fun. And a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Steve Wren, Pedro Lucas, Miles, KCW, Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.